Hey guys, Ellie here from the garden again, and today we're doing another tour. And I'm starting here by the wheelbarrow. Alright guys, so here's the wheelbarrow area. As you can see, our chives we cut back have come back in full force, and our strawberries are faring quite well. I'm not sure how they're going to do. We are due some cold nights coming up, so we'll have to see how they handle the frost. I'm not 100% sure. But we do have some flowers and even potentially some fruit. We'll have to see how that goes. It's exciting though. Then over here we have our golden zucchini. The plants are still suffering a little bit, but there is definitely some new growth, and this is all since we've treated it for the powdery mildew. And as usual, yesterday, today and tomorrow is looking absolutely magnificent. So stunning in this light. Right, over here on the rose wall, over here we have the love rose, Lemonescence, and hiding out just behind the tree over there is Big Pink. This container, it's got nothing going on in it at the moment, apart from a few weeds. The center one over here has got some parsley growing that we'll try and nurture. It's not taking off, and I do need to pull out some of these other competing little plants. And then up here, our alyssum actually settled and is looking quite pretty. So I can't wait for this to fill out. It'll look really nice. On the rose front, Big Pink has a flower. It's hiding here a little bit behind this tree. But Big Pink is blooming, and this is the reason why we call it Big Pink. It's actually quite a sizable little rose there. Over here on the potting bench, we have some leeks that have sprouted. We have a few more coming up here and there. So that's exciting. At least we won't be left without. This container over here, I have some turmeric that I was gifted, and it needs to be repotted. Over here next to our potting bench, we have the rose garden. I went through in the week and I actually deadheaded the marigolds. If you follow over on Instagram, I'm sure you would have seen that. But it is looking good, and I am surprised and excited to report that our tomatoes are still going, and today is the 30th of May. So let's see how much longer they've got in them. Over here in the orchard, sadly nothing noteworthy to report. All of our trees, fortunately, are still alive and are growing well. So hopefully when spring comes, we'll see a little bit more action on those. Hey guys, so I'm just sitting lower down so that you can get a better view, and that hopefully I can be in the actual shot myself. So we're now sitting in the walkway as you come into the vegetable patch, with the wheelbarrow directly behind us, the orchard here next to us, right next to the chicken coop, and the vegetable garden. Over here I planted some elephant garlic, and they all came up, and I'm very excited about that. I'm not sure exactly how to know when they're ready to harvest, but as soon as I know, I'll let you know, and we'll do this together. Over here next to me is my Brussels sprouts, and it's actually what I wanted to talk to you about. So we planted these Brussels sprouts because we do every year in an attempt to try and get a successful harvest, but every year they're annihilated by the aphids. So this year when we hit aphid pressure, we sprayed our garden down with neem to try and cut it, and then we went around and we actually sprinkled diatomaceous earth on some of our brassica leaves. Now I know that's less than ideal, but we did do it at night, and we're hoping that this helps us alleviate our aphid issues. And to a degree it does seem to be working. I haven't found very many aphids on the leaves here, and those that I have found, I'm just simply going around and squishing a little bit. I've also got some Egyptian pink garlic growing, and it seems to be doing really well. So here's hoping that we get a good harvest, because even though they produce smaller bulbs, they are actually a lot more pungent in flavor, especially in comparison to something like the elephant garlic, where you get a much larger clove of garlic, but the flavor is less intense. And that's partially because elephant garlic is actually part of the leek family. not the garlic family. While I'm busy here, I'm just going to pull a few weeds. Now that I'm done weeding here, let's move on to the next section in the lawn garden. Not too long ago, we planted out these kales that my mother had given me, and today I actually planted out some telephone pole peas. So my intention is to put this old chicken coop ladder here as a way for the peas to latch onto something and to climb. So these are supposed to be really tall peas, and I am playing around a little bit with this vertical growing style. What I've done is I've planted the peas close enough to be able to latch on. I will wrap some twine loosely along the top here in the aim of encouraging these peas to grow along this particular ladder. As you can see, the peas do have tendrils on them already and are at a stage where they are ready to latch. So the plan is to get them to latch onto that string that I'll be wrapping around the edge here, and then they'll grow all the way up the ladder until they can reach the fence behind it. And by doing that, I've created enough of a distance away from the chicken coop itself and the ladder in order for the peas to grow without them trying to eat them. Then just to the side over here, we have our white elephant toes. They're still looking good, and I've also heard that they are a leek rather than a true garlic, but we won't know until we harvest them what we've got going here. They were a wild card, and they're still growing fairly well for us, so I won't be complaining about that. In this corner over here, we have parsley doing its best. I have never had such big parsley plants in my life. I know other people are able to grow it quite successfully. I'd never really managed to find the secret recipe, but they do seem to be doing pretty well. We sadly lost 3 broccolis we were growing, but we do still have 3 more, and they are coming along quite nicely, and we have some more that we're going to plant into the ground soon. Over on this side, this green mass that you can see behind our little kale friend over here are actually our turnips, and we'll go have a closer look at that shortly. In this gap over here we planted radishes, which have to a degree sprouted, but I don't think they're going to actually bulb up and make radishes, and it was meant as a bit of a cover crop, so we'll be using the leaves in salads, but in general these radishes I don't think will be staying in the garden very much longer. Over on this side, directly opposite our radishes here, we don't have anything in the ground as of yet, but over there I've got some broccoli that needs to go in. Let's do it now. I'm not sure if you can see this, but I'm going to try and zoom in for you because it's definitely worth seeing. Just with this marigold where it is planted, I have some of these more deeper orange and red marigolds. I have some slightly mottled, but definitely more yellowish orange ones, and then right behind that I have more that seem to have absolutely no red in them, and even though it's got its varying shades, they're all in the same bush, so that's quite interesting. Alright, so I've got this space over here. I have 3 broccoli seedlings. These are from the original sets of seeds that we planted where I didn't have very much success. So today I'm just going to plant out these 3 plants in this row right here. Over here we've got a scarlet kale. I've also just planted that out. And here are my yellow marigolds, and I know they're looking a little bit worse for wear, but I'm actually trying to save these seeds because I really did fall in love with the bright pops of yellow in the garden. Over here, onions are doing well. I think these two smaller ones are probably ready to come out, but I'm going to leave them a little bit longer and see what's happening. Right, so moving on from the onions, we've got our kohlrabi. They really took a mean hit when it came to the aphids. And they are slowly starting to recover. But I actually think what I may do is pull all of my kohlrabis out. Sadly, my kale plant not doing the greatest, but that's not really what I wanted to show you. I wanted to show you my carrots down here. So let me show you. Look at them. I'm so excited. I haven't had very much success with carrots this year, and I'm not really 100% sure why, and I've been trying all the tips and tricks. So this is looking very promising for me, and I'm super excited. And directly above them here is a stem of a Cape gooseberry, and I just wanted to show you how cool they are. So as gooseberries ripen, they actually have this beautiful yellow berry that grows in a husk. Now these are still green and they are pliable and, well, essentially still alive. But that's not when you want to harvest them, because you can't eat them like that. When you want to harvest them is when they are dry, like this one. The skin actually peels back and you're left with this little yellow berry. Right guys, so I've picked a gooseberry and I'm gonna see what it tastes like. These are good. They are tart and it's a little bit sour on the back bite, but generally pretty good. They have a tropical-esque flavor. I don't have anything really to compare it to because I've never tried an American gooseberry or a ground cherry. So for me, these taste like home. Over here we have our greens patch, and whilst the Swiss chard is still struggling, it is definitely bouncing back and coming in stronger. The mustard greens are settled now and they should do better now that we've treated them for the aphids. We won't know until they actually start producing a little bit better. Down here I've still got 2 broccolis from my mom and 2 peas. The peas have a home so far. The broccoli, I haven't found a space for them just yet. Here we have our broccoli, and it is definitely settled and starting to grow nicely. Here next to that, even though it is amongst many weeds, you can see the start point of some purple kohlrabi. So we'll have to monitor those and see how that grows. We planted peas out together, and they are definitely at a point where they can start latching on. So what I like to do is I like to take the plant and hook these tiny little tendrils to the plastic mesh to try and encourage them to grow vertically. Over here you can see how the peas have started attaching themselves. And are looking promising for the upcoming season. And all in all, the container garden is actually looking pretty good. There are a few empty containers here and there, and there's definitely some much needed weeding, but things are flourishing. We even have this beautiful echinacea that's opening up for us. There is a tomato behind this container here, a Heinz tomato that I'd like to prune back and just stake. And if it survives the frost, it'll be interesting to see what happens. In this pink container over here, I have got 4 bamboo stakes in, nothing is planted. I'm considering planting my green feast peas in here as part of an experiment. As you can see, they do get sun, but they get very little sun. They get more afternoon sun. So we'll have to see how that goes. And then in this container here in the center, this I will be planting out with lettuce seeds. Hopefully a few of our own, and some that we have purchased over the years. Okay guys, so this is our zucchini plant, and as you can see, we do even have a little flower and a fruit. So it'll be interesting to see if that amounts to anything. It is still trying to do its best. It is still suffering a little bit with the powdery mildew, but all in all, it does seem to be doing a fair amount better. Hey guys, Ally here, and I just wanted to say thanks for hanging out with me today. I really did have a good time. I hope you enjoyed seeing what we have going on in our garden and that it inspires you to plant something cool in your garden. I also just wanted to quickly show you, I actually swapped out these planters here behind me. They used to hang in the entrance, and I'm sure you noticed when the intro played, they're looking slightly different. Because that area gets a little bit more shade, I've actually swapped them out and put the 3 impatient plants out there, and move the 2 strawberries and the nasturtium back here. So there you have it guys. Hope you have a fantastic weekend and come back and join us soon. Bye.